Labakar, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, and we're here today to discuss all of the 10 finalists of Latvia's Supernova 2024. My name is Ervin, and joining me in this video are Joe, Isaac, and Nikola. We're going to start this video with Katrina Gupalo and her song, The Cat Song.
Yeah, when this song first came out, I think people were somewhat divided. It was fairly popular, but it did seem to split some people. I really liked it on first listen. I thought it was fun, catchy. And then when I saw it live, it was pretty much exactly what I wanted it to be. It was a fun performance with the little cat dance. I don't really understand what the story's meant to be with the backing dancers sort of popping up behind the sofa, I think it was, but I had fun watching it. I think this would do pretty well. One thing about Supernova is in the semi-final, they briefly show how the televote's going midway through the voting, which is interesting. Not many other countries do that. And this wasn't, I thought this would be top 2 easily, and it wasn't. So a bit surprised by that, but I really like it. It's fun, it's catchy, and I think this would do decently at Eurovision.
I have to say that I agree with you, Isaac, about the craziness of the song and the fact that it's all about cats. So it was the thing which I hoped to see on stage, of course, with the crazy performance. They brought it definitely. And Katrina is a really interesting and the crazy performer because she brought that crazy energy, which all of us wanted to see on the stage. And the song itself is very catchy. And it's among the songs which definitely leave me like dancing and wanting to listen to it again, because not all of the songs of Supernova are as catchy as this one, and it definitely brings some new and interesting energy. So let's hope that the crazy cat performance will get us all dancing on Saturday.
Well, Joe, we missed Elaine in this one. I'm sure she's going to give it a 10, but let's see how we're going to score it. Isaac?
7.
Nikola?
7.
I'll give this one a 4. Joe?
And for me, it's an 8.
Next up, we have Funkinbiz with chystu, vodu.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit torn on this song. I think I preferred it, having heard the songs released in the studio form, it didn't really catch my attention at all in the list. Seeing it live, I think it kind of elevated a little bit more for me with the performance. But for me, I think I had to kind of sort of search the lyrics and the translations to really kind of sort of understand exactly what the message was and what they were trying to achieve. Because the song's sung in Ukrainian, and it's about kind of sort of that friendship and solidarity between I guess between Latvia and Ukraine. So it's very, very nice in terms of what they're trying to do, and the way they're portraying the song. But for me, as a song, it doesn't really kind of sort of grab me. So it doesn't really have a big hook. The chorus doesn't really kind of sort of stand out in the way that the song is structured. So I find myself not drawn in the way that I really want to be. So it's nice. It's a good, enjoyable 3-minute watch, but it just doesn't pull me in the way that I would want it to.
See, actually, this one for me stood out from the rest, but I'm not sure if it's like in the most positive way or not, but it did stand out. And first of all, like as you said as well, like this song is in Ukrainian, so it's one of the 2 songs that's not in English, so it already stands out because of that. And what I also enjoyed in this one was that the instruments were kind of raw. And it just sounded like something I would very happily listen to in the background whilst like I'm doing literally anything else. But whether I would actually play this by choice or not, that's a different thing, and probably not. However, like most of the songs in this year's Supernova, unfortunately failed to grab my attention at all, but this one kind of did, so I take that as a positive, and I remember this one more than some other ones. Out of 10, Joe?
For me, I think it's a 5. I'm right in the middle.
Isaac?
I think the staging really let this down. It's a 4.
Nikola?
4.
I'll go 6. We continue with Paper Planes and Mindbreaker.
The song is definitely among the catchy ones, and I cannot stop singing La 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 part. And also when they add the Mindbreaker, I mean, literally the two things which you need to remember from the songs are those two, and they will be stuck in your head for the rest of the evening, definitely when you're listening to the song among the lineup which we have at Supernova. I mean, the performance is very decent, and the slides were colorful and nice, so all in all, it's a very well done contribution to the Supernova lineup.
Yeah, I agree, Nikola. For me, this has one of the best hooks, I think, of anything that's in the competition this year. The la 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 la, and it just sticks in your head. And as much as you kind of almost don't want it to, because the song itself is really quite silly, but it is something that's fun. It's enjoyable to watch. It doesn't necessarily have the depth of kind of sort of message or whatever, but you don't always need that if you've got kind of sort of 3 minutes of fun. The only other problem I've got with this one, though, just slightly, is in the lyrics and in the title as well, Mindbreaker. I don't really know what that means as a native English speaker, whether or not it's the concept of somebody being mind-blowing because it's so amazing, or like a mind bender or something, like a puzzle that you can't kind of sort of quite understand. It's just a bit of an unusual term to my ears. But I think the song was actually written in English, and then the intention, I think, is for them to translate it into Latvian for a subsequent release. But that's the one thing that it just means that I struggle to really kind of sort of get with it, I think. But I can quite happily just have it on in the background and just kind of sort of dancing around the flat or in the shower or something. It's just a really good kind of sort of fun song to lift my mood.
Well, if Belarus gave us the word heartfully with 3+2 in 2010, why wouldn't we get Mindbreaker as well from Latvia now? Mindbreaker, out of 10. Nikola?
7.
I'll give it a 5. Joe?
For me, it's a 7.
Isaac?
I thought it's elevated live. It's a 6.
Next up, we have AVEI with the song Mine. When the song started, it started like very interestingly. It was kind of like mysterious and kind of like electronic. And as it was going on, like it started really building up very nicely. But then there was this just like silence, kind of just like stopped, and it just like went down. And unfortunately, for me, the song then didn't recover from there. The chorus, then when it started, it just went like super basic, and it failed to stand out at all. The thing I enjoyed in this one was the choreography, but I didn't understand its connection to the actual song. Vocally, again, this was quite all right, not the best. There is still room for improvements for the final. But overall, like, I don't know, wasn't really that memorable. And I feel it's like if the choreography is the most memorable thing, then that's not really that good.
I really like this song. Even though I agree with most of what you actually said, to be honest, like, I don't understand how the staging related to the song at all. And there were moments when she was off a bit vocally, both in the low bits that were too low and the high bits which were too high, which doesn't bode well. But this is one of the best songs in the selection, I think. It's really catchy. I don't mind a bit when it all goes quiet and comes back in. Sure, we've heard this sort of thing before. It's very familiar sounding, but it's a fun, upbeat, catchy electro pop song, and probably one of my most played songs from Supernova. I like this.
Let's score it out of 10. And hello to Elaine. I'll start with a 4. Joe?
For me, it's an 8.
Isaac?
7.
Nikola?
4.
The fifth act we're going to discuss is titled Kur, performed by Vestules.
I really like the fact that we are having a song in Latvian language in the lineup of Supernova, and I do believe that the energy between Marta and Brian's is really nice, and the song is definitely something which sticks to me, and the melodies are wonderful, and they're nice pairing with the vocals and everything. And I do believe that the live performance lifted up a bit. So I hope that the Latvian audience will decide to vote for them and support them in the final of Supernova, because I do think that the song could do well if it ends up winning, but it has a tough opponent, so we will see what will happen with that.
There's some stuff that I agree with, and there are some others that I disagree with, as always. So for me, like, this one started off like very nicely, very gently. The girl, I'm terribly sorry, but I don't actually know their names. She has a very, very beautiful voice, and I just felt like this is going to be like super nice, has a nice flow, and like, I don't know, kind of like lounge music, but the good type of lounge music. And then again, there was this sudden change from that like nice and gentle music to this kind of like industrial experimental mix. And it didn't fit the song for me at all. And then we went again back to the vocals and back to the nice and soft and slow. Like, I do enjoy industrial experimental music as well. However, for me, it just didn't fit this song at all. And it's just not its place here. If they kept it like all nice and very simple, like the entire song, I would have probably enjoyed it a lot more, because this has ruined it a little bit for me. It's still a decent song. Out of 10, Nikola?
8.
I'll give it a 5. Joe?
For me, it's an 8. I really enjoyed this one.
Isaac?
7.
We're halfway through, and we're going to continue with Alekss Silvers with For the Show.
Yeah, so it's great to see Alekss Silvers back in the competition. So I really enjoyed his song that he had a song written by Aminata back in, I think it was 2019, Fireworks, which I really enjoyed, and fantastic to see him back, but back with something so very different. So he's really kind of sort of upped his game. And I think the live performance of this just shows exactly what they were trying to kind of sort of work on with this, I think. So it's an upbeat number. There's some choreo in there, which is something I don't think we've ever seen from Alekss Silvers. So I think it's great that he's kind of sort of doing new things and putting something together. And I think he executes it really, really well. So for me, I enjoyed the studio version when the list, first came out, but then seeing the live performance really elevated it for me an awful lot. So yeah, I don't know if you've seen that as kind of sort of a risk for Supernova and for Eurovision to try something new, but if so, I really hope it comes off for him, because yeah, it's a very good effort from him.
Yeah, I've never liked any of his music until this one. When I heard the studio version, I thought it was really good. It was one of my favorite songs. But when I saw it live, I don't know, I just felt like it was missing something. But I can't really say what, to be honest, because it was a good live performance. Vocally, it was strong, and the choreography was good. It all looked very good. I don't know, it just felt a little bit predictable and generic to me. There was nothing I could fault with it. Having said that, I still like it a lot, and I wouldn't be mad if they picked it. I don't think they will, but yeah, it's a good song.
Out of 10 for this one. Joe?
So this is another solid 8 for me.
Isaac?
It's another 7 for me.
Nikola?
4.
I give it a 7 as well. We continue with one of the fan favorites. It's Dons with Hollow.
I was really happy to see Dons back in the lineup of Supernova, because he took part at the contest way back in 2010, and unfortunately he didn't made it that year, but now he has another strong chance to win the show. And I really love the song. I love the lyrics of it. I also like the music of it, and I also had a chance to listen to the Latvian version of it. So if I would be comparing them, I prefer the English one over Latvian, and I do think that it would be his to lose, because I believe that he will be winning the show.
Yeah, I agree, Nikola. Dons is such a huge name in Latvia. I don't think there are more popular artists out there, except perhaps Brainstorm, So Dons is still year on year, winning Zelta Microphones Awards and I think he got Song of the Year last year. So I was really surprised actually to see his name back in the list, because it's quite some time since he last tried Supernova. Because being such a big name, I guess he's automatically kind of sort of the big favourite, but perhaps it's like he's got more to lose potentially. But I don't think there's much at risk this time around. I think this song, for me, is by far the most kind of sort of Eurovision ready song and performance that we've seen in this list. His vocal is incredible. He's always been very, very solid on the vocals. I'd put him up there with, say, Slimani from France in terms of the quality of vocal, and having heard it live, but also heard it live in Latvia, and it was really, really powerful. So I would be very surprised if this doesn't end up being our winner. However, I would have said that back in 2014 as well. And he ended up losing to A Cake to Bake, despite having, a song that was similarly, Eurovision ready and had such quality to it. So I guess you never can tell with these competitions, exactly what might happen. But yeah, we shall see.
Hollow, out of 10. Nikola?
10.
Oh, wow. I'll give it a 7. Joe?
10.
Isaac?
8.
We continue with Saint Levica with TikTok.
Yeah, when I heard the studio version of this song, it did absolutely nothing for me. I just found it really boring, to be honest. Then when I saw it live, there's a lot going on stage, and it did make me visually interested. However, I can't help but feel that it's just trying to distract from what is ultimately still a boring song. There was a lot happening on stage, the piano, the weird, I don't even know what was around her, the red sheets and the quick camera cuts back and forth. And I thought, oh, okay, there's stuff happening here. And then when it ended, I thought, I still didn't really enjoy it. It distracted me for 3 minutes, and fair play for actually trying to do something on stage. It just doesn't really work for me, I'm afraid. Yeah, I don't think this will do that well, and I don't want it to get picked.
I wasn't just distracted by the choreography, I was distracted by every single thing about this song and performance, to be perfectly honest. And I feel like this is kind of like the theme of this year's Supernova, to have like weird mixes, because this one as well starts off a little bit like more classical, then out of nowhere it turns into this like kind of like trap wannabe sort of music. And unfortunately, like for me, this entire song just sounds a little bit like unfinished, still kind of like a demo. And multiple times, like whilst I was watching the performance and listening to her sing, I had the feeling that like she's not really singing to the tune of the music. She's like singing to something completely different. I don't know why. Nevertheless, she's a really good vocalist. I just wish that she had a slightly better song, and I completely agree with Isaac. There was way too much going on and I couldn't focus on literally anything. Let's score TikTok out of 10. Isaac?
5.
Nikola?
4.
I'll continue this trend. 3. Joe?
I think her song in 2017 was so much better than this. So disappointingly, it's a 5.
Second to last, we have ECTO and Outsider.
Very interesting beat, very interesting song. I prefer the studio version over the live performance, because live performance for some unknown reason sounded like a huge mess, and like the song which I couldn't recognize from the studio version. Not necessarily is this the type of music I would listen to, but it always captures my ear, even if it could be in positive or a negative way, depending from the song itself. But this one, in this lineup, as all the previous songs I kind of commented, is standing up from the songs which are performed in Supernova final. So even though being noise or not noise at all, it will definitely stick to the ears of some of the followers of Supernova, and some people will vote for it. So I do believe that it will achieve a nice result.
Yeah, this song definitely stands out. It's quite an insane song. I respect it fully for trying something different and being original and unique, because I appreciate that much more than a generic song that doesn't do anything. Bits of this I absolutely love, and when it started I thought this could be a 9, this could be a 10, and then the chorus is just awful. It's just noise. I know the song as a whole is loud, but most of it's musical and interesting, and I like it, and then the chorus completely destroys it, and then on top of that, the final 30-40 seconds, it just gets even worse. So yeah, bits in this I really like, and bits I absolutely hate. And another thing, the staging I thought was quite safe for a song that's this in your face. I thought TikTok was almost the opposite. TikTok had a lot going on stage for a relatively safe song. This is a crazy out there song, and on stage it wasn't that crazy, but yeah.
Outsider out of 10. Nikola?
5.
I'll go 5 as well. Joe?
For me, it's a 2.
Isaac?
It's a reluctant 5.
Last but not least, we have Edvards Strazdins and Rock and Roll Supernova.
So, where to start with Rock and Roll Supernova? So the whole kind of sort of rock and roll vibe thing that this song has is really not the genre of thing that I would generally tend to listen to. In fact, it's something I would probably actively run away from, if I'm entirely honest. But some people love that kind of thing, and I guess if you're one of those people that loves that kind of thing, as a young up and coming star, and maybe it's good for some people, but yeah, I found this a really difficult watch. It's one that I do skip every single time I listen to the playlist for Supernova. It's just not something that I like at all. I'm trying to find something nice to say, but I'm sure his mum, dad, and his friends are very proud of him. But this is just not something I can possibly enjoy.
I can find so many nice things to say about this one, actually. This is just like so different to everything else, and it's got this kind of like rockabilly feel to it that I really like. Contrary to Joe, I do like this kind of music. Far from it from being like that amazing, but for me, it really stands out in this bunch of songs. And probably, I mean, I wouldn't probably send this one to Eurovision either, as I don't really think that it's going to move that much away from the bottom of the scoreboard. But I really enjoyed that it's in the Supernova final, and like, it's not going to win, but this is the song that I actually remember the most out of these 10. It stands out the most for me, and it's the catchiest of them all.
I do wonder if he was to win the competition, if he would then go to Eurovision and then rename it Rock and Roll Eurovision. That could be quite interesting.
Rock and Roll Eurovision.
Yeah,
out of
I
10.
mean, it's kind of cute the way that, you know, they reference Supernova in the song and in the lyrics, I guess.
There, you finally found something nice to say about it.
And
Now score it out of 10.
1.
Damn it, Joe. Isaac?
I loved this song 2 years ago, but I don't like this. It's a 3.
Nikola?
5.
I'll give it an 8. As you can see, the favorite of the 4 of us is Dons, who scored 35 points, followed by Vestules in second place with 28, and we have a tie for third between Alekss and Katrina Gupalo with 26. Now, this was all based on our personal thoughts and opinions, but let's try and predict now who is actually going to win Supernova and go on to represent Latvia in Malmö.
So I think it will be Dons by a landslide.
I also think it'll be Dons. I think if there's going to be a surprise, I think it'll be Vestules, but there won't be a surprise. It'll be Dons.
I also agree with this one. This one was not at all hard to try to predict, because Dons is the one who grabbed all the attention of all the people, and in general the song stands out the most by being the best quality song in the Supernova final.
I think that whoever actually ends up winning Supernova, they're still going to have a lot of work in front of them, because they're going to have to revamp the song. I also believe that Dons is going to be the one to win, because he is, let's say, the best of the bunch, but there's still a lot of work to be done on this song as well to make it actually stand out in Eurovision. But with Supernova, we learned over the years that you never really know. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone else random wins, but I'll jump on this bandwagon and I'll also predict that it's going to be Dons. Thank you all for watching. Let us know in the comment section below whether you agree, whether you disagree with any of our thoughts and opinions, and also subscribe to our channel for all of the upcoming review videos. I want to thank Joe, Isaac, Nikola, and Elaine for joining us for this video, and we're going to see you all very soon with our next reaction video. Bye, everyone.